Hey, it's DJ with me, and this is my honest review on the DENON players and mixer. If you don't want to hear anything bad about the DENON, just close the video already. I have been playing over 9 years with the Pioneer gear, and last year I sold my Nexus 2 and I got these new players a week ago. And I can already tell that I don't like them at all. Let's start with the jog wheel. It goes to light and really heavy. And first thing is the plate. It's super slippery. On the heaviest setting you can't even spin it. You have to press really hard so you can scratch with it. Also, the beat matching is a little harder on this than the cdjs. It just feels weird. You can so easily go too much or not enough. And I know that you can change that sensitivity on the settings, but it feels even weirder and it doesn't affect fast enough if you lower it, so you have to have it on high setting. Second thing, the jog wheel wobbles a little bit. You can feel it wobbling side to side, and the wheel adjust. It doesn't feel that smooth as the cdjs. It just feels like it's getting stuck at one point. On light setting it doesn't make much noise, but soon as you put some heaviness to it you can hear. Also, my other SC6000, the wheel seems to be faulty. You can hear it. You can hear that scratching sound, what doesn't happen on the other player. It's much lighter than this one. Next thing, the hotkeys. I don't like them to be rubber. It's much harder to finger drum fast than on the plastic buttons on the Pioneer. I can demonstrate. And the plastic Q button works much better. So yeah, and the placement. I like to hold my hand like this and beat match like this. And you can sometimes hit these accidentally. So yeah, that's my take on the placement. Also, you need to press a little bit harder on these rubber pads. Sometimes the sound doesn't come if you hit fast. You need to actually just hit, then it works fine. Next thing, what is really bad for my muscle memory and how I like to play with the cdjs, I like to do this. I put track playing and then find the Q place where I want to start mixing, and I hit Q. On here it jumps to the beginning. On this you have to spin it not playing and then hit Q. Or you have to press play, find the point, hold it, press shift, press Q, press again Q. That is so frustrating. So many steps just to cue the point you want. Also on the Pioneer you can do the track search while holding this and spinning the jog wheel, but you can't do it here. It doesn't work. Only way to do it is press shift and press this arrow, pitch up arrow. But it's not fast enough. You have to use the touch screen to jump fast. Next bad thing is the beat jump and loop values are the same. So if you want to beat jump 32 beats but have loop size ready for the mixing on 4 bars, you can't have both. Another disappointing thing is there's no track filtering like on the cdjs. How it works there, you just press key filter and it shows tracks what works on that current track. On here you can just sort by title BPM key, but it sorts your full library or the playlist you have. It just doesn't work the same way. And the last bad thing with the player is the light on the buttons. You can barely tell that you have master tempo on. It's so dim light here, and you can't see any info here. Do you have it on or off? Same goes the sync button, but I don't use sync, so whatever. Let's move to the positive things. The Q and play button feels nice. Easy to hit any corner. And the rolls are nice. I don't use slicer at all, I just use the roll feature. The loop encoder is nice, easy to use. When you press shift and move the knob, you can move the loop different places. Best feature with the player is definitely the double layer. It's so nice to mix with 2 players, 4 tracks, and it works really well. There's lots of settings you can customize. Wi-Fi, screen brightness is max. Also, I wish it was a little bit brighter, but it's enough for indoor use. But outside I would say it's a little hard to see. Tidal, sound code, beatport link. There's preferences, tempo range, sync modes, quantize, smart loops, different display settings, safety, library, the colors. The touch screen works good. Sometimes you have to press twice, like there. It doesn't respond sometimes fast enough. The tempo fader feels amazing. It feels like vinyl tempo fader. It's really smooth and has a little bit resistance. And there's no middle click, what is good. Then there's pitch bend buttons, sleep mode, and the SSD drive is really good. It's nice to have all music inside the player. The build quality is really good. It's all metal and rubberized material, and it's heavy. Only thing I don't like is the jog wheel. Okay, let's talk about the mixer. Also, I didn't like this mixer at all. There's glitches and bugs still, and the effects doesn't sound that great. Let's start with the EQs. I don't like how thin they are. It just doesn't feel nice when mixing. I like these channel switches. They feel great. Filter. I didn't like the filter sound. It's really aggressive. Even if you turn down the resonance, it doesn't sound that great. Goes nice to this point, but after that it goes really aggressive. So it's not that smooth transition with the filter. The dub echo is nice. Noise effect. It's much higher sound to the right and sounds lower volume on to the left. I don't know why. Washout, nice for transitions. The gate effect always been useless for me, but on this mixer it's even worse. Doesn't even affect much at this point, and sometimes it bugs out that it doesn't do anything. The screen is nice. It's easy to read and there's lots of settings to go through. Channel selector for the effects works great. FX timer, FX frequency, and the touch strip, what was disappointing again. So if you're pressing some points, selecting different values, it randomly jumps to random number. Like I have been pressing half beat, it sometimes randomly jumps to 4 beats. No reason. It's a bug in the software for sure, and hope it gets fixed. The effects doesn't sound that great. Only good ones are the echo, delay, beat break and scratch. They sound good. The whole echo but laid back look uses a lot sounds really messy to me. Especially with trance music, it's just a mess. Ping pong, not that great. I'd rather use just the echo. Trance, it's a great effect if it works, but sometimes this quantize, what locks the effects to the grids, it bugs out, it makes popping sound. So you have to time it manually, pressing the on off, and trance effect doesn't sound great if it's slightly off. Flanger, not great sounding flanger, it's really thin sound and almost like hurts your ears. Sometimes it sounds really loud, sometimes you have to put it on max volume and doesn't sound loud enough. Also with the FX time you can't even set it to the 64 beats, it max out 32 beats and then you can change it manually with the milliseconds upper, but you have to know how many milliseconds is the 64 beats. This filter actually sounds better than these filters. Then the phaser, it sounds better than the flanger. I would say it's okay level. Bit grass, not much use for it. Reverb, what I use almost all the time with every track, and it's really bad on this mixer. I can show So if you want to have a big tail for the drop, there's no tail at all. It just stops. Only way to get the tail is pull the fader down. And you can't put fader down when the drop comes, so it's nice to have that freeze on the reverb. It's kinda nice. That's what I have been using with the D2s a lot. It's a nice feature when doing the transition and just kill the track with the reverb. Next one, roll. Again, it needs to have the quantize to work good. And the players have roll, what works much better than roll on this. Reverse roll, guess it's cool. Beat break is nice. It has different patterns you can select and create your own patterns. Scratch effect is nice, it's cool. Echo hold, kinda weird. Don't know how useful it is. Didn't use it on any of my mixes. Bumper, it's kinda sidechain effect. So it's almost like the trance effect again, but different style. And center return. I have done the effects videos if you want to hear all the effects, how they sound on the track. The up faders, they are really stiff. If you want to just slam the fader up, you really need to throw it upwards. You can't just do this. It doesn't go up enough. The crossfader actually feels really nice. The beat quality again, it feels really solid, all metal, really heavy. And nice scream. And for my playstyle and the sound effect sounds I liked, it just doesn't work for me. So I'm going to stay with Pioneer gear. I'm going to do the review on the cdj3000 also. Don't get me wrong, these are nice players and they will work for you for sure if you haven't played with the cdjs such a long time. They have great features, the SSD drive is really nice, and the screens, big screens are nice, easy to read. Also the mixer is good if you don't care reverb or the flanger, those kind of effects. It's good for you. The other things work fine, they just need to fix the bugs out, the quantize and the touch strip thing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. See you next time.